What? You said get pumped up, bro. What do you want me to do? Was that not pumped up? Typically, when we leave the studio, me and Robin tune each other out. 3 days sitting on an airplane next to him, sharing a house with him, sharing long car drives with him. It's been a rough week for me. But I had the Don. The Don was with me, even though he made, I forgot to put the thing up. I forgot to put up the questionnaire in the beginning. We'll ask that later in the show. Anyways, happy Friday, Crypto Familia. Welcome back to Sin City Crypto Live. We are coming at you from our studio here in the heart of Las Vegas, Nevada, with our daily, only on the weekdays, live shows. Before we get into the content, quick disclaimer. Nothing that anyone says on this channel, including our two guests today, should be taken as financial advice. So please, as always, do your own research. With that being said, I'd like to introduce you to your other co-host. Hello, Robin.
Hola! It's your boy, Big Rob, back in the house. Welcome to Sin City Crypto. If it's your first time checking us out, we are an entertainment-focused cryptocurrency channel where we take the old, the boring, the stale information, and we package it up in a fun and sexy way. Also, here at Sin City Crypto, we don't just do live streams. We also upgrade our live streams, which we're in the process of doing.
Man, you hold on real quick.
¿Qué pasa?
You guys are going to be blown away by what we are working on and what we're going to roll out in the next few weeks. Be prepared. This is going to, no one else in the space is doing this. And since he's going to bring it to you, it's going to be freaking amazing.
That's right. We're bringing animals on the stage. We're
changing the show around. We're going to be adding 2 brand new segments, not in the live show, outside of the live show. I mean, we are pumped. Man.
Just to recap.
Sorry to cut off your
No,
intro.
no, you're good, man. Just to recap, we don't just do live streams. We got a lot of stuff in the pipeline. So we got a lot of cool videos and contents coming out for you. So we're really excited. You guys are early here, so if you want to grow and pop off with us, that's what we about to do, man. I think we got some big visions here. Now, real quick though,
what?
We just came back. If for those of you that weren't aware, wondering why we weren't streaming the last few days, or maybe you just didn't have your notification bells checked and didn't
What's
even
that
realize.
metric at, by the way?
I don't know. Notification
Not
bell
good.
metric is it ain't good. Anyways, couple things. We went out to Atlanta, Georgia. Particularly, we went to a little town called Kennesaw, Georgia.
Kennesaw, baby.
Which for some reason I couldn't stop saying Kennesaw, Georgia.
It must be the gin in you.
Yeah. Oh man. So yeah, before moving out to Vegas, I did grow up in Virginia, so it was good to get out into the greenery, the forest, kind of on the East Coast, mountainous area. A lot of brought back a lot of memories. We did have the whole fam bam here with us, Rocco and David, and so we got to have a good bonding experience. So we learned a lot about Rocco, learned a lot about David. Rocco learned a lot about David. Ain't that right, Rocco?
We each other learn about it. No, they let me drive, guys. They let me drive the car. It was raining.
Oh my God!
Hold on.
Did you video his reverse?
I wish I would.
Oh my God, you guys! There are so many funny stories.
The first time so we handed him the keys over. We were enjoying ourselves, so we had a couple drinks. So we're like, Rocco wasn't drinking at the time. We're like, Rocco, why don't you drive, man? He's like, you sure? I'm like, yeah. This man couldn't even get out the driveway. we were parked on a driveway with a slope, and he was going the opposite direction. I'm like, bro.
All right,
put some gas.
My version of the story. Okay, first of all, they parked the car not in a slope, but in a ditch. Okay, which I had to get out. Okay, with a car that pretty much makes just noise. When you press the gas, it doesn't do anything. It just makes noise, like my laundry machine. So that's.
Well, you know what? To Rocco's credit, we were driving a Malibu. So this thing's long, bro. Those 2020 Malibus, them things are. It's like a surfboard.
I was in the front seat.
My boy, he used to the Fiats. He used to the Volkswagen Golf. He's used to the smaller cars.
I used to the WRX, STI, Subaru. And when
he knows his cars. What are you talking about?
The thing
no, I'm saying all his cars are normally
Malibu
compact,
I know in my
bro.
life is the Malibu Rum.
The Malibu Rum.
Malibu car before.
All right. We will start talking crypto here in a minute. Just a couple things on the docket today. Dave is going to give you the rundown, but just a couple highlights. We do have CryptoStackers. We got Forrest in here. He's in the chat right
He said
now.
there's a forest raid going on.
Yeah, so we are going to patch Forrest in here in a little bit. We're going to get his perspectives on the market. We did have a big dump. So, is this fake? Is it real?
Something's been on my mind the entire plane ride regarding Forrest, and I need to make a public apology. So you'll get that in like 10 minutes.
Does it involve your cheating ass change the rules way in the game of shuffleboard that we had?
I can't speak about it. I have to
Yeah, these guys
gather my thoughts.
So,
also, before we move on,
and then, one other guest.
yes.
So not only Force, but we are going to sprinkle in a little CryptoBlood with us tonight. So towards the end of the show, on the back half, we're going to have CryptoBlood. Always a fun. Today's going to be a fun show.
Today's going to be dope.
Dude, it's going to be
prepared for almost a 2-hour show today, guys. We got so much to talk about.
And one last thing. It ain't a guest. What kind it is? Your boy going to be a guest on Around the Blockchain today. So that is correct. Yeah. So if you don't get enough of Big Rob, you can catch me on BitBoys Around the Blockchain at 2 p.m. Vegas time, 5 p.m. Eastern time.
Speaking of BitBoy, we again just the amount of hospitality we were shown, essentially an open door, an open, like vision into what they're doing. They're like everyone Ben's got working there, talented, phenomenal. Their operation is amazing. So huge shout out, huge thank you to everyone over there at BitBoy Studios. Also, our main man Forrest. We spent 2 days with him. It was phenomenal. What a good guy, man. We are extremely lucky to have someone of Forrest caliber coming on our show every single Friday.
By show.
And we're super excited. So thank you to everyone.
Dude's good at golf too. We were at Top Golf with him, and got a swing to him.
I almost caught up to him, and then I don't know what happened.
Well, also with the BitBoy stuff, you have a badass staff. When the people that catch no camera time, you're looking at them, you're like, bro, you could straight up be a beast on camera.
Yeah.
That's when you know that you just got people in the dugout that you could just put on the mound, and they would just kill it. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's how deep his roster is. So, anyways, we're gonna get to it. So let's get into the roll call. Now, first in the chat today, we got Brokyoshi. Round of applause for Brokyoshi. And then we got Shizzy, Robert Salazar, Fino, Redman Tox, Big Chili Willy, Rockin' Crypto, new here. Hola! We got Handy, Quarter Crawler. We got Nordy, Servando, Marky Mark, BTC OG. Hola! Seems to be new as well. Chef Murder. We got Salazar, R.A. Daniel, Handy. Sean C here. Welcome back. Who'd you say? Yeah, Sean. And then Why You Loud Gang. We got, who else? We got Anime.
Amani. It's not anime. It's Amani.
Whatever. And then we got, I make,
you say whatever, but what if that person gets, doesn't like it when people mispronounce their names?
So we got, make fun with the fish. Hola! And Tony. Hola! Welcome. One last hola. And then we got, Sundown Pyro. Hola! I'm running out of steam. Running out of steam here, bro. And then, David Talbot about last night, and Nick Dees. Hola! All right, cool. Did I miss anybody? If I did, I apologize. Mervin, just tell me I missed you, and then we'll give you a little shout out a little later. Also, Club Limit.
Michelle from
65.
Italy. Michelle from Italy. And Adrian.
Oh, hey, Rocco, we got another Italian in here. Can we get some? Can you serenade us with some Italian?
Probabilmente Michela, but ciao Michela or Michelle. Benvenuta.
Damn, I just got goosebumps.
We love you guys. All right. We got a big show today. If you're watching us after the fact, we will have timestamps provided so you can navigate freely. We definitely, especially today, recommend watching the entire thing from beginning to end. There will be some great tidbits in there. Also, Robin, let's take a quick peek at the markets before we bring our main man.
All right. So just a quick rundown synopsis. We had a gigantic pullback. Now, maybe not gigantic in the world of Bitcoin. If you've been around for a while, this is normal. But let's not kid ourselves. 8% down in 24 hours is pretty damn significant. $21,474 is where we're sitting at now. You could take a look at this chart. I don't know what the hell happened last night. If this was cascading liquidations on perhaps over leveraged 10x
Plus,
trading.
you have end of the week as well.
Yeah. So here, this is not natural. This was either manipulation or perhaps liquidation or a combination of the two. But yesterday we were around 23,000, and then this did happen to coincide with some of the NASDAQ moves. Also, Europe is not looking good. So there's a couple metrics. For one, they're forecasting a lot of the European companies are going to be in the red next quarter. And then, so yeah, how low did we go? I'm just curious here. So we went so we're pretty much at the bottom we're pretty close to where we bottomed here. I think we're going to have major support. I think we're going to have major support at 20,000. It'll probably be something like 20,500, 20,300. I don't think we'll get quite as low as all the zeros, but 20,000 will probably be major support. We haven't been below 20,000 in quite some time. So, it's going to be major support. So last time we were under it was 3 weeks ago. No, actually a week ago. Excuse me.
No, that's.
Oh no, that's
July,
a month ago.
month.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. So like I said, over a month ago. So it's been some time. So because of that big psychological number, it's gonna be support. I will be shocked if we're under 20K for any period of time over the weekend. So if you're looking to sell, definitely not, in my opinion, the best time. I think this is kind of near the local bottom. I do think we're going to be testing the teens again, but we'll see. Crypto bubbles, taking a look, everything in the red. So nothing that stands out here. And then crypto fear and greed index had a 33. This will refresh in 6 hours. So curious to see what that'll look like.
It'll be under 30.
And then NASDAQ straight taking punches today, man. All red across the market. NASDAQ down 2%. So big day. The correlation between NASDAQ and Bitcoin is still a factor. And until you get more adoption of Bitcoin, there's more volume, and it's not such a scarce asset in comparison to the global markets and the global commodities, I think you're going to have this correlation. David, you got anything on this?
Yeah, actually, if you want to swap over to my laptop, Rocco. So I have the 4-hour chart here on NASDAQ pulled up. And I've had these two patterns drawn on here for probably a few weeks. And we saw a descending wedge, broke above it, and then broke down about 15%. We're seeing a similar thing form here. This is from May 20th, going all the way back to May 20th. Now, the rise to the upside in the previous one was about 7.5%, 8%. And here, if this is a local top right here, if this is a local top, you're looking at 18%. So does that mean the move to the downside is going to be larger? I don't know. We'll see. And the other thing I want to do as well is I want to throw the Bitcoin on top of this, and I want to throw it on the same percentage scale, and we can kind of go and see over the last 1 month, NASDAQ is up 11.7% and Bitcoin is down almost 1%. 3-month time window, you're looking at NASDAQ up 11%, Bitcoin down 27%. 6 months, the gap gets a little wider, NASDAQ minus 5.5, Bitcoin minus 43. And then if you go 1 year, NASDAQ down 12, Bitcoin down 54. But if you go to the super micro, okay, you can kind of see, I mean, I believe if a recession hits and a recession hits hard, these two will decouple. I know that's not a popular narrative. I know Robin doesn't agree. I know Robin doesn't agree.
You are tripping, sir.
I think there's going to be a shift in mentality. I think people are going to be looking outside of what they've traditionally put their money in during recessions and look at an asset like Bitcoin and say, that's the one.
You know, I would push back so hard on that, but we do got force coming on. I got one last indicator to show here. Here, pull up my my laptop. Actually, before I get into this indicator, there's another indicator. It is that we are at a pathetic 20 likes on the video.
Yeah,
so guys, hit the like button. We are going to pause this show. We're not going to restart it until you start smashing like buttons up in here. Okay, we restarted. All right. Okay. So now back to my laptop. DXY. So the dollar. This is the dollar cost index. Now this is basically the strength of the dollar compared to other currencies. You would think strength of the dollar is good for economy but realistically, Basically, every other currency other than the dollar gets weaker when this goes up.
You know what it's good for?
So it's a good measure of the global economy.
It's good for imports, bad
US,
for
US,
US. It's good for
imports.
US imports, bad for US exports, and it's also good if you live in the US and you're looking to travel abroad.
It's only acutely good in the short term for
Yes.
the U.S. But what ends up happening is that it's a great measure on economic situation on the global front. And if things cost more money to import from America, for example, if you're buying goods from the U.S., even though we have a stronger dollar, we're making more money on our exports, as an example. We are going to be exporting less because the value of the currency across the pond or the water or wherever it is across the border, they can buy less because their money is worth less. And, it just kind of circles me back to this premise of like fiat is trash, right? We all agree that the U.S., well, first of all, 4.8% or 4.8x our circulating supply of dollars. Like who does that? I mean, think about it. If it was a crypto project, if you took Bitcoin from 20 million, I know we're not quite there, we're 19 million. But anyways, and then you blasted it up to 100 million. What do you think is going to happen to the price of the token? What do you think? It's just basic economics. And so anyways, you're seeing that if the dollar is the strongest asset out of all of them and the dollar's trash, what does that tell you about everything else?
Trash.
Yeah. It's like trying to pick you're going to buy a new car, but you're one of those used car lots over here off of Boulder Highway in the
They're
ghetto.
all lemons.
And yeah, they're all crap, and you're like, well, which one should I get? But like, well, you shouldn't get any of them.
Well, you got to get something. You got to get to work.
That's what I'm saying. You got to use fiat.
You got to pick the best of the worst.
And you know what? The best choice is the dollar, but the dollar's doo-doo. Anyways, that's all I got.
Rocco, it's time.
Bring it in.
Let's bring him in.
Let's go.
The man.
Hey.
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me on.
What's up, Forrest? Thank you so much. Hey, man, I'm just going to get this off my chest. It's been eating away at me on the entire plane ride home. I couldn't sleep. I wanted to apologize to you in public for the grave mistake I made during shuffleboard. Forrest put us up. We were up by 7.
Yo.
And I got on there, and me and Forrest were teammates. I got on there, and I completely blew it. I Terra Luna that thing.
Let me tell y'all what happened. Okay, so me and Rocco won the first game. The second game,
we were good.
We won, and then y'all changed the rules at the last second, and y'all put in some like half-ass like penalty shots. Like we obviously won this. And let me just tell y'all, man, they like did that whole like form a DAO at the last second, propose a rule change. You know what I mean? Community vote.
The fork, yeah.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it was
a soft fork. All right, it's fine.
You guys agreed to it.
Yeah, you guys agree. You didn't got to say no. I mean, you didn't have to say
pressured into it.
So. That was fun. Hey, thank you so much again for taking the time out of your busy schedule to come hang out with us. We really had a good time, and I think shuffleboard was definitely better than cornhole. What do you say, Robin?
No, I gotta go back to my Virginia roots, man. You gotta go cornhole, man. Because cornhole, you can just set it up in the backyard. Yeah, man. Like, where are you gonna go actively practice?
You can literally put a shuffleboard in your house.
Those things are like 30 feet long, man. You can't just put them in your house. Like, get out of here.
Put it in your kitchen. Anyways, Forrest, markets are dumping. We've seen a lot of liquidations. And Rocco, you mind pulling on my laptop real quick?
Damn.
What?
I see your laptop from here.
So here's kind of a brief overview of the total liquidations, right? Bro, you have the 1 hour, 2.4 million, 4 hours, 64 million. And then 24 hours, $600 million was liquidated from Bitcoin.
What, is this Bitcoin or is this just crypto?
This is I believe this is Bitcoin. I guess it's crypto in general. 600 million was liquidated in the land of crypto. Majority of that was Bitcoin. We've seen the dominance drop to under 40%. What are your kind of thoughts? Is there anything on the macro side? Is this all just, end of the week stuff expiring? Well, what are your thoughts, Forrest?
Yeah, so as far as I know, like I didn't see any like big news catalysts that could have contributed to this. It just seems like a lack of follow up buying pressure, and then maybe it's so easy to point the finger at manipulation, but just kind of like targeted manipulation in the sense that like we were in a very vulnerable spot after this relief rally. And it looks like people were kind of buying into the relief rally late and then expecting it to continue. The buying pressure didn't follow up, and it just left them super vulnerable to a drop like this for a big player to come in and liquidate a bunch of people and drive price back down. But we're still trending upwards. I mean, at the end of the day, we haven't broken a lot of these key uptrend lines. And until we do, I'm not going to be too concerned. I am, much more bearish on some assets than others. But yeah, it's not cause for alarm quite yet. I'm not too worried about new lows just yet.
Okay, so you think the local bottom's in?
So, I mean, here's the thing. We've been essentially going up since June, making higher highs, higher lows. And so, we all know what happens with Bitcoin, just keeps making higher highs, higher lows, especially over a 2 to 3 month window. You're going to get pullbacks here. So I think this is natural. I don't think it's some big, massive crash that's coming. That's going to, not yet at least.
So far as you think the local bottom's in, as far as this little move to the downside?
Could go a little bit lower. Looking at some charts earlier, we could go down and test some lower levels, but we are on support. We are on some pretty strong support across most assets, most of the big ones like Bitcoin and Ethereum. Okay. So if we start breaking these levels and holding them as resistance, then it's like, all right, now we got to set some orders in to potentially pick up some crypto at previous lows, like maybe $1,200-$1,300 for ETH, and we'll get into some of the price levels we want to look at. But I mean, if prices dropped, it's an opportunity to DCA back in.
Cool. All right, Forrest. We're gonna hand this over to you, but I have one request. Can you, when you're done doing everything you're doing, can you just kind of highlight maybe 2 or 3 coins that you're after this dip you're kind of eyeing, maybe at like that level? You're like, all right, this is the level I've been waiting for. Or this is the level I want to get in, or I want to wait, and we'll kind of leave that up to you. If it's 1 coin, 2 coins, 3 coins.
Sure, yeah.
Thank you. All right, take it away.
On my watch list. Cool. You guys should be able to see my screen now.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Uh-oh. All right, I've got to reconnect in 2 seconds. I'll be right back.
Cool.
So I can share my screen.
You're good.
No, are you good, man? So yeah, let's get a couple more likes in here.
What do you think he's gonna say?
What's that?
He's probably gonna say Solana. You think one of those coins is gonna be Solana?
I don't know. You know what? You know what pulled back significantly? I think it's at a great value, especially with a new update coming up. Is Ethereum? So. No, excuse me. Cardano. I don't know why I said
ADA.
that. So Cardano is down compared to the rest of the groups. Cardano's down 11%. So compared to Bitcoin and Ethereum, down 8% from the last 24 hours. XRP down 9%. Cardano's down a full 11.5%. They did have some little some speed bumps on their new Vassal hard fork upgrade.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. But all right, Forrest, let's roll.
Sorry about that, guys. I connected to the wrong input on my OBS.
Bobby Roberts.
Okay. So my overall underlying thesis here regarding global macro is that it can, in the short term, influence the overall crypto market. But when we look at some like intrinsic catalysts, like we have with the Ethereum merge, I'm kind of discounting it against the net issuance decrease that we're going to see from the Ethereum merge. So I'm still very, very bullish on Ethereum for the next 6 to 12 months, regardless of what global macro does. But I still think that it's worth taking a look at global macro here in the short term to try to get a read on what could happen to Bitcoin. I do think that Bitcoin is significantly more vulnerable and reactive and correlated with global macro than Ethereum will be in the next 6 to 12 months. Okay. With that being said, I'm looking at crude oil. The reason I'm looking at oil is just, I think it's one of the best things to look at in terms of the global macro situation, especially when it comes to the situation that we're currently in terms of inflation and CPI. And I've got this line drawn vertically here in August of 2021. And that's significant because it's 1 year ago. And the way the CPI measured, I believe, is based on a year-over-year increase basis. So what happened 1 year ago and to 9 months ago, right? Over the next 3 months, year over year, what we're going to start seeing is that there was a large uptrend in oil, right? And oil prices are somewhat correlated to prices and everything. Obviously, one of the biggest increases that we've seen in CPI year over year is within the energy category, and specifically in the oil category. Well, we've seen oil in a downtrend, and we are seeing some buyers come in. We're seeing we've pushed back up above $90, but for the most part, we are over our last local high around 30% lower. So we've had a nice 30% pullback in oil. This is really nice, especially because if we can hold this range below $100 and basically go sideways in oil, meanwhile the year-over-year CPI data that's going to be coming out is going to be lessened and lessened, right? Because we were in an uptrend. Now, if we get to October, right? And now keep in mind, all of this while we go into midterms, right? And again, you don't have to be a conspiracy theorist to understand that regardless of what administration is in power, they want oil prices. People vote with their wallets. A certain portion of people are going to be voting with their wallets, and the current administration wants oil prices and gas prices in the U.S. to be low. Right. And do they have pull over that? I think they, have some pull over the narrative and some potential pull over the legislation that's passed that can influence these oil prices. So regardless, that might be getting a little too tinfoil hat, but regardless, if we see oil prices flatten out a little bit and at least go sideways, if not continue downwards, year over year, we're actually looking at a very similar price level. We're looking at like a year over year increase of just basically a rounding error, 4%, just some moderate volatility. That's not too bad. That's a very big difference from where we were back here, where, back in July, when we were seeing like a 60, 70% increase year over year in oil prices. So we're starting to see this gap close, which is a good thing. And I want to pay attention to the trends that we're going to be seeing here over the next several months. As long as oil stays low and CPI data comes out lower, that's good overall. Now, that's just one variable. Obviously, global macro is much more complicated than just oil prices, but it is a big variable to keep in mind. S&P 500 running into that resistance. We do have kind of marked out the ETH merge here on the S&P chart just to show you guys how close it is, but also the midterms, right? Usually we rally into midterms, right? For reasons I've just kind of talked about. The current administration wants to be seen in a favorable light. I'm not saying we're going to be putting in new all-time highs going into midterms, but what they don't want going into midterms is that they don't want, or what we had previously seen, and at least now we've seen a concerted relief rally. Maybe they don't have, they can't put the cat back in the bag for the next few months. I don't know. But usually, historically, we've rallied into midterms, and we've got that right on the horizon. A lot of the voting for midterms occurs now, between now and kind of a month before midterms. So keep that in mind as well. Again, we're talking about one variable, one political variable in the entire S&P 500. Take it with a grain of salt. However, there is reason to believe that we could see some short-term bullish news for global macro. That being said, we've just bumped into resistance. Wouldn't be out of the question either to see a retest of some of these low levels. I know we had a gap back here that would be very painful to go and cover that gap down there around 3,800 for the S&P 500. So just keeping tabs on global macro. Now, over to Bitcoin and the crypto space, we are sitting on this trend line. Now, that being said, if we look at this as a pattern trade, this looks like a bear flag, which is bearish, right? Would indicate, it would be kind of in line with, the previous bear flags that we've seen in this downtrend, and would indicate a further move downwards. So I'm not a big patterns trader, but it's good to know your patterns and just know the way that they tend to break.
A question
we are on support here on this downtrend line. Oh, go ahead.
Real quick. So if you're looking at the bear flag, obviously we have, which you've highlighted 2 or 3 other ones there. What would be the breakout point? What would be your confirmation of getting out of that? Is that circle you drew perhaps? What is like a
Yeah, this
number
is why
that
bear-
you think that it's going to see further drops?
Yeah, it's. I would personally not trade. I personally wouldn't trade off of this pattern. You could trade off this bottom trend line, and if it breaks and holds resistance, sure, that could be a trigger that we're going lower. But this is why bear flags are so brutal. They get so many people because basically the way that they're built up is you get this nice pattern of higher highs and higher lows, and you're like, okay, well, maybe this breaks, but then what's the next support level? The next support level is right here. Well, let's see if that holds. And then you're like, well, okay, that didn't hold, but let's see if this one holds. And then before you know it, you're like, okay, well, let's see if this one holds. And before you know it, you're crashing through and making new lows. Or you ride it all the way down, you make a new low, right? And we see this from time to time. It's very, very tricky. You make a new low, everyone sells, right? You get a nasty wick. The buyers are sitting down there ready to collect your stop losses, and then you rocket right back up. And that's personally why I don't trade off of patterns in general. Bear flag is a really difficult pattern to trade unless you're just going to trade it very strictly, which is what I would recommend. I would look for us to make resistance on this downtrend line and look at that as a trigger to potentially get out. But again, if we look at things in the long term, and I'll kind of talk about long term versus short term here in a moment, right? Who wants to sell their Bitcoin at 20K, right? If you zoom out and look at the big picture, like we're down here near the green easy bands, it's not attractive to really sell down. The risk to reward isn't phenomenal here to be selling at around 20K, even if the pattern is saying, hey, maybe we're in a bear flag and we're potentially going lower. But you can see with this other bear flag, the trigger I'm kind of talking about there would have been this. We broke through, we held it as resistance, and then we started making a series of lower highs, right? And then we broke there with a big candle. That's a good opportunity to get out either here or up here when we held that as resistance. So that can be a signal to get out. And we ended up crashing through with a lot of momentum through all of these previous support levels. So, but it's very, very important in my opinion. I think if I could give any non-financial advice at all, I would tell people to structure their portfolios in such a way where you have, and you can do the percentages yourself. For me, it's about 90% because I'm more of a long-term investor. It's 90% in a long-term portfolio and it's 10% in a short-term trading portfolio. And how we make decisions based on price action is different based on whether or not we're using this amount of money or this money over here, our long-term money or our short-term money. Now, our short-term money, if I'm looking for a short, right? If I'm looking to trade this and looking to sell Bitcoin or go short on Bitcoin based on this pattern, I'm pretty comfortable doing so from a short-term in my short-term portfolio, which is considerably less money than in my long-term portfolio. So I would be happy to take a leveraged short out on Bitcoin if we see something like that. And honestly, if I'm looking to go short, I'm probably not going to short Bitcoin in particular. I'm going to look for something that's a little bit weaker, maybe like Dogecoin or something that just doesn't have a strong narrative. At least Bitcoin has a fairly strong narrative, and we could definitely see some buyers start coming back in this region. So I would look to short something else, but I'm shorting with a short-term portfolio. My long-term portfolio, I'm going to zoom out. And if I'm a believer in Bitcoin, and like you guys know, I'm more of an ETH person, but regardless, I'm looking to actually be a buyer, not too far below where I'd be shorting from with my short-term portfolio. So I think it's extremely important not to mix the two, because you'll get really twisted and you'll find yourself like start trading and selling Bitcoin down here in this region as a short-term trades, and you'll just get twisted up. And in the meantime, you're not looking at the bigger picture and the fact that we could easily come back up to these red easy band levels and go back up and retest 30K just in a bear market rally, right? So I think it's incredibly important to structure your portfolio in a way where you've got short-term trading money set aside, and you can play around in these short-term trends with that money. But then with the long-term stuff, It's very simple. My strategy is just to sit in DCA in the green easy bands, right? And then de-risk around the 21-week simple moving average and take profits at around the red easy band region. It's that simple. That's my long-term portfolio strategy.
I got a question. So, you know,
Yep.
TA revolves around, you know, probabilities, price action, what's happened previously, and then you can kind of extrapolate that. Do you think, you know, and this is probably more of a personal opinion, do you think with BlackRock entering the Bitcoin arena, that's going to change how we've seen, whether it's cycles, whether it's patterns, whether it's whatever the case may be? I mean, do you think the trading, like, do you think anything is going to change from that end?
I think overall it'll place increased demand. So actually, I talked to my neighbor about this. She said basically they're adding it because they're getting the demand for it. They're getting people coming in and asking to allocate part of their portfolios to Bitcoin. I actually spoke with someone, just an acquaintance. I met them not too long ago, but he is he's in wealth management. Has like a kind of a medium-sized family practice, and basically they'll allocate now to allocate their clients' money to Bitcoin through like a Bitcoin ETF. And their clients, he said, they get clients that come in and they want exposure to Bitcoin, and basically the way that they handle that is they just take some higher risk like tech stocks out of their portfolio and throw in some Bitcoin through a Bitcoin ETF. Now, obviously, like a spot Bitcoin ETF would be better in terms of Bitcoin price action, but there's demand for it. There's demand for it, and it's coming through people that are going in and asking for it.
I look at that BlackRock news as more of a extremely bullish scenario in the long term. I think they're setting up the liquidity and they're setting up the platform so that way when retail decides to come back in and we get into the next bull market, that the institutions, the platform's there for them to get in. They're extremely wealthy individuals. They have a platform they're already using that instead of
Everything's in place. They got enough money to scoop.
That's what I'm saying. And when the time comes, instead of the big whale investor, instead of them like looking like, oh man, I wish I had a place to buy Bitcoin, they can just pull the trigger. They just got to pick up the phone instead of opening up an account at somewhere else. It's just like it's the liquidity. And the platform is there now, and I think when it gets bullish, it's gonna.
Now, here's a question for both you guys. We know BlackRock created a private trust, right, for their institutional clients. Do you think eventually they will turn that private trust into a public trust and then into a spot ETF? Do you think they'll be the first spot ETF to be approved?
I don't think so.
No, Forrest?
I don't have any expertise to be able to comment on that. Unfortunately, I don't know.
Fair enough.
I just look at the baseline time in the market, and the Grayscale has the most time in the market.
Bro, it's BlackRock. They literally help bail out companies.
Grayscale has the largest Bitcoin wallet, and they've been in the market the longest. And so, if anybody knows how to
you think Gary Gensler is going to care about that? No. Anyways, Forrest, go ahead.
Yeah, so we'll cover ETH here, and then I can kind of briefly go over a couple of cryptocurrencies that I'm keeping an eye on, like you mentioned at the beginning. So, all right, so a high-low line. I like to do this high-low method of finding pivot points. Basically, you take your trend line from your low to your high. This is now a CryptoStackers indicator. Basically, you just drag these over to your high and your low, and you look for where price action has breached this level. And so far, right now for Ethereum, that's where we're seeing the support come in. We do have additional levels that have breached lower, but for right now, that's at $1,700, right? Give or take, 1680 maybe. But if we just kind of zoom out on ETH, we see there's a really strong structural level at pretty much exactly 1700. So with my short-term portfolio, let me differentiate between the two. Walk you through the two ways that I'm trading ETH right now. From a long-term perspective, right? With my long-term portfolio, I accumulated in the easy band regions. I accumulated here, and then I accumulated very aggressively here, and I turned the DCA off once we broke these highs. You could have continued to DCA in; it would have been profitable to do so, but I just turned it off because we were already getting. I I had already gotten a lot of really good prices on my Ethereum there. Turned around and de-risked there because we had margin pressure levels and our 21-week simple moving average. When I say de-risk, I mean I sold like 10 to 20% of my ETH. I think I shook out at like 15%, right? And I've already put some of that back in off of this drop, but most of that is set aside in case we see either lower lows, which I don't think that we'll see, or a return down to this green easy band region where I would want to buy back in aggressively at around $1,300 to $1,400, right? So that's my long-term strategy. Now, my short-term portfolio, I bought this breakout at $1,700, right? When we broke this, basically that downtrend line, right? Bought the breakout at $1,700, turned around and closed it at 2,000 because that was 2,000 was resistance with our margin pressure levels. And now I'm turning around and I'm trying to buy 1,700 as support again, or I did buy $1,700 as support again from a short-term perspective. And I've got a stop loss down here around like 1,640, right? So I'm just trading these ranges, trading these support levels, buying support, selling resistance. It's a short-term trade, so I'm not too worried if I get stopped out. I'll look to buy lower if I do get stopped out. And the key levels that I'm looking to buy are off of these margin pressure levels. So we have our short margin pressure levels from our last local high of around $2,031, right? And that's giving us support at around $1,500, right? And then we have our long margin pressure levels off of our two local lows down here, our most recent local lows. That is giving us confluent support around $1,500 and confluent support around $1,350, which is also where our green easy band, green dash easy band level is coming through. And then if I drag the risk to reward or the Sun Tzu levels in off of our last local lows here and our local high, we again get confluence in this $1,350 and $1,500 levels. So I'm buying this $1,700 level as support. If we hold it as support, because it is very strong support, we've kind of gone through and found the support levels there in previous videos and previous live streams, then I'll look to just trade this little scalp here from 1,700 to 2,000. I'll actually probably see if we break 2,000 on the second time trying it. If not, I'll get stopped out and I'll look to get back in on these strong support levels. And I'll just be looking to keep my stop loss below this lower of the two support levels. And I'll be looking to buy, like enter ladder in here. So this would be basically my first ladder. This would be my second ladder. I'd keep a stop loss down here and just look to ride that back up to $1,700 resistance. And that's my short-term trade setup. But the two big levels are 1,500 roughly, 1494 to 1523. That's the first support zone. Second support zone is around 1330 to 1354. And then, of course, we do have some additional support levels down here. But those are the two big ones where we get a lot of confluence all at once. As far as stuff that's on my watch list, my portfolio right now is Ethereum, Solana, AVAX, Nano, and stablecoins, right? So I'm watching Solana and AVAX. I do briefly want to talk about why I believe in Solana and AVAX are solid bear market investments, not only because they're very strong fundamentally, but if we actually look at what pumped first this past bull market. When altcoins really started pumping, what pumped first? It was Litecoin. Litecoin was like one of the first top performers of the bull market, of alt season, right? And if we throw on Solana, you can actually see Solana way outperformed Litecoin, right? Way outperformed it. In the second top here, Litecoin actually did not break its previous all-time high, where Solana went from its all-time high around $40 all the way up to like $260. But what started pumping first? Litecoin. Why did it start pumping first? Because it was familiar. It performed really well the previous bull market. There was not an established narrative yet. And people started speculating on stuff that had done well in previous bull markets. Well, if we zoom into the future of the next market cycle, what did well this market cycle that we think people are going to pile back into in future market cycles? Well, initially, it'll probably be Solana and AVAX and other layer ones, because that was the big narrative this time around. Remove drawings here, right? So I don't think it's out of the question, right? Let's just say, if I go to the weekly here, I don't think it's out of the question for, even if Solana ends up not being one of the top layer ones in the future, we have our, let's just say March 2024, that's our next halving. say everything follows these halving cycles, and Solana just goes down to like $4. Let's just say like worst case scenario, what we're buying here, we're accumulating around this zone. In worst case scenario, this happens, right? And what's going to happen as soon as Bitcoin cuts and Bitcoin goes through another halving, and we see another bull market? Well, we'll probably see speculation come in for Solana, and we'll probably get an opportunity in the future to sell at least at this resistance zone if we see this play out. That's why I think Solana and AVAX at these levels are pretty low risk. Yes, there's risk in that it could drop significantly lower, but if they end up not panning out in the long term, we should get an exit pump next market cycle to at least get out at these prices here. And that's why
I like your perspective. I like your perspective there, and I think a lot of people always kind of just forget the fundamentals and the basics that when you start getting a big macro trend in crypto, specifically in like Bitcoin's rally, that the profits are taken and then move down into the layer ones, pretty much. So Ethereum, obviously in the last cycle, now you're going to have other players. So are you looking for the break? Just to kind of stack on what you're saying here, are you looking for the breakout in these layer ones as confirmation to get to pile in on them, or are you waiting for Bitcoin to break out first, maybe Bitcoin to break out, and then if Solana starts to follow and it's a good buying opportunity, is that like a confirmation to you, or are you looking for something larger?
I'm just accumulating long term on the easy bands. Just accumulating long term. As far as like short term stuff goes, I'd just be looking at like long term, or I'd be looking at margin pressure levels, which if we have time, we can throw them on. It might take a second to kind of find the support and resistance levels. But yeah, I'd be just looking to buy the support levels, turn around and sell the resistance, and vice versa. But I think AVAX and Solana, even if you get stuck in them when they're this low, you should, in theory, as long as they just don't completely get wiped off the face of the planet like Terra Luna did, you should get an exit opportunity in the future bull market. From a fundamental perspective, other cryptocurrencies I really like and like to pay attention to, Near Protocol, Matic, and one that I don't think anybody's paying attention to that's dark horse is ICP.
Yes.
And I think the trigger for ICP is very simply wait for this downtrend line to break, wait for it to make support on top of it. And then I think a lot of people will pile in because that's a bottom signal. That's a signal that we've actually found a bottom. Until then, I don't think it's worth the risk, though, because we've just been in a really long downtrend.
That's a pretty
This downtrend could continue for some time.
That's a $6. That's $6 per token. Or
was this the one that got up to $700?
And it was at $600.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's an ICO price. Man,
I like Near, man. I think if there's another layer one that's gonna
When do we have the Near guy coming on?
Tuesday we have someone from Near joining
next
our
week?
show. Yeah.
If you guys are fans of Near, come back, check us out on Tuesday.
Yes.
Awesome, man. Yeah. Here, so when we do get, I know we kind of scratched the surface. When we do get into a bull market, let's say we're nearing the halving, fast forward a year from now, for example. Are you looking to get into smaller projects, or you just kind of want to just play it safe, do your layer ones, your Avalanche and your Ethereum, and then just go a little bit more risque, but nothing too crazy? Or are you trying to identify the next craze, the next metaverse or the next DeFi, because that's what really returned, obviously the meme coins, but those are the two sectors that really brought in returns, or those 100x's. Obviously I think you're going to have new things that are bringing in, new sectors that are bringing in 100x's. Maybe it's social tokens, maybe it's something to do with sports, maybe it's a more audio driven NFT sector. I know you're big into that. Is there certain things that are you looking to hit a home run, or are you just looking to just pile in and stack the portfolio
slowly?
Yeah.
In this bear market situation right now, I am looking at large caps. I'm looking at Solana, AVAX, Ethereum, and I'm trying to stay allocated mostly to spot. And the reason I'm most heavily in Ethereum is obviously because I do think it's a layup. I think it's not a home run, but it's like it's like the easy layup, safe thing to be in that still has potential 2, 3, 4, 5x returns over the next 6 months to like maybe 24, 36 months. Over the next 6 months to 2 to 3 years, we could see Ethereum. I don't think it's out of the question 3 years from now to see Ethereum at like $8,000. And I don't think that would be too crazy post merge if everything goes well. Like the narrative lately has just been layer ones. So the low caps that I'd be potentially be looking to get into are already fairly established. They're kind of the ones I already mentioned, but they're just at very low prices because we're in a bear market. So I think it's there's just massive opportunities staring everybody right in the face with the existing narratives that are already there, just layer ones like Solana, Avalanche, Near Protocol, Matic, stuff that's just going to continue to build and develop, and stuff, projects that have really, really massive war chests of funds to continue to build and take up market share. I think right now, starting a new layer one blockchain from scratch isn't going to quite have the potential returns that we've seen out of these big ones, because it takes a ridiculous amount of investment to start competing with Solana and AVAX and Ethereum right now. For example, there's two that are on my radar. Aptos is one that you probably hear a lot about, and then SUI, S-U-I. Those are two layer ones, but they have massive VC investments in them. And that's a problem for a retail investor, because those VCs are going to turn around and dump on us. So, could they potentially compete with Avalanche and Solana in the future? Sure. But what's at what cost to the retail investor? Similar to how we saw ICO at $600 and now it's at $6. I don't want to get caught in that kind of trap investing in, some of these up and coming layer ones that are being built right now. If I see them at the right valuation, I'm happy to jump on them as high risk to reward opportunities. But as far as narratives go, I will say that once we go into the next bull market, I will be looking to identify narratives. I don't know exactly what those narratives will be yet, but when a narrative emerges, I'll have money set aside to jump into that narrative very, very quickly and look to hop right back out of it as soon as there's a 2x, 3x, 4x. Potential narratives that could be soulbound tokens on Ethereum. That's the idea behind like you are basically sent an NFT, but you can never sell that NFT. You can never... Any projects that are working with soulbound tokens, I think could be a potential narrative. And then I do think that music NFTs and audio-based projects have yet to really see any interest or speculation. We saw a little bit of speculation around Audius for a short period of time this bull market, but other than that, music NFTs and decentralized music and media, audio media, has really not even begun to see a spark yet. So I think that could be a big change. The next 2 to 3.
You see a fundamental change in that industry every 5 to 10 years, from cassettes to CDs to MP3s. I think we're due for a major, because the latest one was the streaming. And so now I think lining up with that same time frame where the entire industry changes and pivots, I think it's lining up perfectly with the next bull run. And NFT music platforms could be the next craze.
100%.
I'm just gonna throw my money at a bunch of things and save it.
Here's the best strategy in the middle of a bull market, when the halving is in and everyone's euphoric. You really you gotta really try hard to lose money. If you're just buying and accumulating.
Very true.
And so unless you're doing some crazy leverage trading that you shouldn't be doing on some speculative stuff. But anyways, boys, we're gonna wrap it up. We got CryptoBlood coming in here. So
wow, are you saying someone else is coming? We got to kick Forrest out. You see the lack of respect.
We got time slots.
Now you've met us in person.
We got time slots, bro.
We don't just do this for camera. Do you believe this guy? How disrespectful, right?
We got a schedule we got to keep to.
It's all good.
Forrest has schedule.
Forrest is playing the middle. Forrest, we love you as always, man. Thank you so much for continuing to bring value to us and our community. We appreciate you guys. If you're not subscribed to Forrest's channel and following him on Twitter at 0xstacker, what the hell is wrong with you? Please go support our guests. They ask for nothing in return. They continue to come on our channel and bring you guys amazing insight.
We're also going to be evolving our collaboration here as well. So you're going to see a little bit more Force, a little bit more CryptoStackers on our platform, and maybe vice versa. If you would like Me or David over there? If you had to pick, which one are you taking over there to your channel?
Me, bro.
Get out of here.
Okay, real quick, Forrest, before we send you off, real quick.
You can say
Barbecue,
Rocco too.
and Rocco.
Hold on.
Barbecue on pizza, like barbecue sauce, like barbecue chicken pizza. Yes or no?
No.
Thank
You
you.
should have, you guys. You should have seen Rocco's reaction when David ordered a barbecue chicken pizza.
It's like I slapped his mom across the face.
Hey, why?
It's like I literally like slapped his mother across the face. He goes, "You don't put the barbecue on pizza. What's wrong with you?" We have so many funny stories on the trip. Forrest, thank you so much again, brother. We'll see you. We'll see you next Friday.
All right, brother.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Enjoy
Take
your
care.
weekends.
You too.
Later.
Bye.
Chat. Barbecue chicken pizza, yes or no? Yes or no? Put a 1
It's
for
not a
yes, put a
pizza.
stop. Put a 1 for yes, put a 2 for no. Barbecue chicken pizza.
That's like just barbecue chicken. You throw it on a flatbread. That's like
Let me just, I'm not asking
pizza.
you. I know your
pizza
stance.
needs pizza sauce. Or maybe-
Barbecue is a pizza sauce.
it's not a sauce. It's
Yes, it
it's a
is.
sugar.
Barbecue's
It's a
not a
sugar
sauce.
syrup. What if you put a maple syrup and chicken on a pizza?
Barbecue
What
is
do you-
not a sauce. Right, okay. Anyways, before we bring CryptoBlood, there's a couple things we want to talk about. So the first one, Rocco, go ahead and pull up my laptop. Accounting firm BDO Italia reveals a decrease from 20 billion to 8.5 billion in Tether's commercial paper holdings, while its CEO Paolo Ardonio assures it will go to zero by October. We've been hearing a lot about this from the Tether camp, how they're going to essentially go to 0% commercial paper and hold everything in super liquid, essentially US securities. That's essentially what it's going to be. It's going to be cash and US Treasury securities, maybe euro. I mean, I don't know. But are they going in the, is this giving you more confidence in Tether as they're bringing this down, or is this no biggie?
This is just the Italian
No, this is an accounting firm,
and
an outside accounting firm, a third party that looked at their papers, looked at their P&L or whatever you call
Yeah.
it, and said, hey, it dropped from 20 to 8.5
and there's
billion.
always this big narrative. You got to think first of all that
And by the way, commercial paper is unsecured debt. It is one of the most, think of it like junk bonds. It's very risky. So that's been what's hanging over Tether's head for a long time.
it's such a big project, and I know the bigger you are, the harder you fall. I understand that. You know, Terra Luna is the best example of that. But it commands so much market cap, and that so much of this is not something that people sell. You don't like sell Tether in fear. You know what I mean? Like there's FUD, you know, you sell your position, whatever. You got to have it for exchanges. So if you're going to, first of all, like trade, let's say you're going to have some stablecoin on the side or some money on the side to buy whatever project you're looking to get into, you're holding Tether or USDC straight up. I mean, you might hold it in the fiat on the exchange, but realistically, you're probably holding it in Tether and USDC, or at least the masses are. And so for that reason, it's not the same kind of situation where the market goes down and people are selling off their assets. And so their market cap is so big, and the exchanges have to have it to function. And so I don't see that it's gonna, like, in the short term collapse. But you know what? Bitfinex started them. They're a shady ass freaking exchange. The whole reason they started it was because of the Bitfinex hack and the loss of money, and they're trying to make some up. And so there's all kinds of different narratives you can twist and paint Tether as the demon. But all I'm saying,
I got some breaking news, bro.
breaking news.
Yeah.
What it is?
The FDIC is after crypto exchanges. They just sent
FDIC?
the FDIC.
We had an article about that.
No. This is
About
So-
false advertising on their FDIC insured.
yeah, but it's. I mean, pull up my laptop, Rocco. FTX US accused of false representations by FDIC regarding insured deposits and products. And then you have where I just pulled it up right here. They sent a cease and desist order to five companies, five exchanges today.
Now, so this is breaking news. So we haven't looked
No,
it up.
that- and it says
But
stories
I
developing,
would
so-
and before we do too much speculation, I would assume a cease and desist order would be
Take it off your marketing.
Take off the FDIC insured.
Stop saying your money's
And
FDIC insured.
yeah, so it wouldn't be like a cease operations.
No. It's
yeah,
not like
so-
a shut everything down, but
But
I
this is
mean-
just gonna be. This is.
Yeah, but-
what's the worst case scenario? Fines.
I'm not saying the crypto's going to crash, because I'm just saying now you got these regulators, like these little, the FDIC, the whatever it is, stepping into the arena and saying, "Hey, we're going to keep an eye on you now."
Hey man, you know what?
But in this case, I believe this is good.
There is money to be made in fines, and
Well,
if they
of
try to
course.
say that
Let
there
me-
isn't, like NFL fines people or whatever, and they're like, "Oh, well, we donated all to charity."
Well, Marshawn
You know what I
Lynch went there to not be fined. Anyways, when I took my insurance license test, right, for like securities, well, I didn't take my securities, but life insurance, health insurance, like annuities, like there is an entire segment of the law portion where it talks about marketing, what you can say, what you can't say. You can go to jail, get fined, and we don't really see that in crypto. And I think we're going to start seeing more of it, which
I think this is
could be a good thing.
I just think this is normal part of businesses when they get bigger. Just like if you have a corporation and you start growing it big, you account for getting sued. Like it's just part of the process. Like if I'm from the restaurant industry, so as you get bigger, you just expect slip and falls. Like you account for it. And so I think these companies, as they get bigger, they're just going to expect to get fined.
What are your thoughts on? We're done with the laptop, Rocco. What are your thoughts on those plaques that say we've gone this many days without
Getting sued?
Without an incident. Anyways, Rocco, we ready? Let's bring on one of our favorite guests on this channel, CBTV CryptoBlood. What's up?
Hey.
What's going on, bro? How you doing?
Good. Guess we got to fix out. Let me slide to the left, slide to the right. Oh, there we
Cha-cha now,
go.
yo.
There we go. Cha-cha now.
Listen, I have a very important question before we even get into crypto. Barbecue chicken pizza, yes or no?
Stop it.
No, I don't eat chicken.
Thank you.
Okay, barbecue
A
anything
black person
pizza.
that doesn't eat chicken. Can you believe
Hold
it?
on. Pump the brakes.
Who doesn't eat chicken? By the way, that restaurant.
Are
we
you
went to-
vegan?
No.
Pescatarian.
Oh, okay. What's your favorite fish?
Ooh, I like grouper.
Ooh.
I like salmon. I'm a
Halibut?
big salmon. Oh, I love halibut.
Mahi?
Yes, mahi's cool, but I think my favorite, now that you got my senses going, I would have to say Chilean sea bass.
Oh, your boy is a straight beast with Chilean sea bass. Let me tell you. I'm telling you. Me. You know, I used to. You know,
Really?
before I got into the crypto streaming, I was a chef, and I was actually a chef for Gordon Ramsay.
Oh wow!
Who'd you pay to get that job? Because you ain't.
I'm flying out to
You coming out
Vegas
here?
to
You
get
come
me
out to
some
Vegas, bro.
Chilean
We'll show you
sea
a good time.
bass.
Just don't let Robin cook for you. We'll take you to dinner somewhere. Unless you like burnt, overcooked. Oh, you don't even
Bro,
eat meat.
your boy is a straight beast with the frying pan, the grill, all that stuff. man.
Anyways, yeah, you do make some good food. All right, let's jump right into it. So I don't know if you heard about the FDIC thing with cease and desist orders to 5 U.S. crypto exchanges, FTX being one of them. And I just closed a tweet, but it said they're essentially misrepresenting and misleading people. Is this a good thing? Is this a bad thing? Do we need to see more of it from that end as far as, hey, crypto exchange, you can't just say whatever you want if it's not true?
Nah, this is part of the multi-layered attack that is occurring within the crypto industry with these governments and these agencies. It's starting to heat up, man. It really is. So no, this is not a good thing. I think we are going to see more of it, though, unfortunately. And it's really going to add a lot of cost to your average transaction within the space. One way or the other, right? Like when you're dealing with centralized exchanges and centralized entities and organizations that are within the crypto space, it's going to add more cost to a technology stack that was supposed to be very low cost, right? So it's just, we're going backwards, man.
You don't think?
my
I mean,
opinion.
look, it's pretty standard, right? Advertising,
It
you
is.
can't mislead people. You can't say no. So why is crypto any different?
Well, because crypto gives you a little bit more freedom than in your traditional markets. So it's like they're just taking and going. They're going to take every step they can to clamp down on us. So anything is better, is worse than nothing. I think people in the crypto space, we're supposed to take more responsibility for our own funds. We're supposed to be our own banks. We're supposed to take control of our destiny when it comes to financial freedom or financial literacy and all of that. That's what this crypto space was about starting out. At least it was 9 years ago when I got into it. I mean, it has changed. Everything changes, right? But I think the arrow, if you want to look at which direction we're going, we're heading in the direction of more regulatory, I don't know if I can curse on here, stuff.
Oh yeah,
You
you
know?
go ahead, man.
Yeah, we had a
Layers,
crypto
more
stack.
layers. What crypto stash do?
Oh man, this dude was talking about chopping off his private parts and stuff. Oh man, so you want to say shit, man? You can. I was just
You know, I'm glad you bring up. Will we go to that other article next?
Which one?
So you're bringing up regulation, the Ontario one.
oh yeah,
Bro,
dude.
did you hear about what Ontario's doing? Did you catch it? Because we caught it under the radar.
Yeah, this was a last minute addition, by the way.
The list of
Yeah,
cryptos
so
you can't buy.
you can buy them. You just can't
No.
buy more than a certain amount. So
Per
Yeah,
year.
that's it. Yeah.
dude, Canada-based crypto exchanges BitBuy and Newton are enforcing a 30,000 Canadian dollar annual buy limit for restricted coins for their users in Ontario to quote protect customers. And some of the excluded coins are Bitcoin, ETH, Bitcoin Cash, and Litecoin. So
Yeah.
those four, right? Bitcoin and ETH, I get, but Bitcoin Cash and Litecoin, you can buy as much as you want. But Solana, Cardano, Avalanche, name it, you can only buy 30,000 a year. And on top of that, if a trader bought and then sold a restricted coin, the sell amount would be subtracted from the limit, and the limit resets every 12 months. So this is all in the name of investor protection.
But if you're what do they call it?
Accredited
Qualified
investor.
or accredited investor, you know better. You can do it.
So this is
You
BS, right?
But they allow all of us to go gamble and go play the lottery
What?
every day.
Bro,
The odds
Vegas,
of
check
that is
this out.
very low.
I've been gambling in Vegas since I was 17, okay?
He been losing since he was
Never
17 too.
Never lost. Never ask you for your
Never
ID.
lost.
Never ask you for your ID when you
I
buy
know.
into the poker chips. And when you go to cash out, we need to see your ID.
Yeah.
And so they're just letting anyone gamble, right? And when it
Yep.
benefits them, they're like, all right, we're going to bring a regulation. But
right.
like, what purpose does this serve, right? If it's not investor protection, which I think we can all agree, this is not for investor protection. Yes?
No. Yes, we can agree.
It's
with
not
that.
for-
Absolutely.
No, that's
It's not. It's not.
that's the
just-
banks. That's the banks whispering in somebody's ear, and they're like, "Hey, man, our savings account, because savings accounts are getting drained. People are moving money out of savings accounts and they're putting it into things that give you better return. 0.01% interest is not okay, especially
Hey,
when
it's
they
0.03 now.
it's 0.01% interest, and then on top of that, they charge you $15 for your account. So literally, you're at a loss before you even start.
Yeah.
And
So what could be the
Yeah.
reason? I mean,
I think with Canada, it's just pure ignorance and lack of understanding of the crypto space for them to pick those three cryptocurrencies. As you stated, David, Bitcoin, Ethereum, okay, that's understandable. Those two have been cleared by the U.S. SEC, right? Surprised they didn't allow EOS. That was another one that was been cleared by the SEC. So it's just, I think, just a random. I don't know, man. I don't know how they came up with that list. With Bitcoin,
What happened to
Cash, and
Canada?
Litecoin.
what happened to Canada? I thought
Yeah.
Canada was like
Progressive.
similar democracy, like freedom. And
Right.
it's like that whole thing ever since the trucker
The truckers,
protest.
yeah.
It's
I
like
was like, wow.
this like curtain came up,
Those
and,
mother
and
truckers.
behind it was the Trudeau, whatever the
Justin
president.
Trudeau, yeah.
Yeah, and you know what I mean. It's just this. It seems like an autocratic regime. I'm like, how did this happen?
His name is Justin Castro.
Oh,
Yeah. You didn't
that
know.
sounds
Now
yeah.
you know.
Castro was not a fun time.
You know, switch course here. Pull up my laptop there, Rocco. You know, you said you like some. You said you like halibut. So your boy, look
yeah.
at this. This is a halibut right here, a butcher from start to finish, bro. This is when I was up in the
Look
the
at that
restaurant.
hair. What happened to your hair? Let's take your hat off,
Yeah,
Robin.
that's a heavy guy. This is like 100 over 100 pounds. And then
I
there's a
didn't know
picture.
halibut.
There's a picture of me and old Ramsey when I was straight Chef Boone, doing it up, baby.
That's nice. How was it to work with him?
He's cool.
Was he
as
an
dude.
ass as much as he was on camera? Was he,
Nah, he's
that was all
he's
a show?
super cool. He's super cool, dude. Really humble. I mean, he is who he is on TV. They tend to like stick people
That pissed him off.
Yeah, that piss them off. You know, the people that have that like pokey personality. I'm gonna go
Gotcha.
through my old Facebook photos here, and anyways,
I
a
did
bunch
not know
of
you
memes.
were a chef.
There's my
man.
kids
That's
there.
what's
Who are
up.
they? I had a picture of me with long hair. I was trying to find it.
Long hair.
Here's Ramsey who had me on one of his videos here.
Long hair,
Is
don't
Ramsey
care.
going to return the favor and come on our show or what?
Yeah, you know, Ramsey is funny. We bring that up. Ramsey actually announced he's gonna open up.
Hell's Kitchen in the
Let me
metaverse.
mute this here. So yeah, he was gonna open
have
up Hell's Kitchen in the metaverse. So we're gonna try. I'm gonna call him up and be like, "Yo,
Mm.
I was on your damn videos. What's up?"
Did you? So there's a Hell's Kitchen restaurant in Vegas. I saw it.
There
on the
Yeah,
is.
strip.
you wanna come visit, man? I got the hookup, man. We'll get you a table. I'll get you a free meal. too. How
VIP
about that?
service, bro.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's how we roll.
Yeah.
All right, Robin.
Yeah, here's that's me right there.
Hey, this is how I burned the chicken here, chef, and I added way too much salt.
Exactly. Look, he's yelling at him.
He's yelling at everyone.
Take it back. Take it back.
It's
All right,
bloody
all right,
wrong.
let's get back to crypto.
All right. Let's move on. So, did you see that Do Kwon interview he did with Coin Center or whatever the name of that, or Coinage?
I read an article. I don't know if that was referencing the same interview where he basically.
I heard
admitted that he
the
was
reactions, but I haven't seen it either.
Mhm.
Well, let's watch a little clip of it, okay, guys, and then we'll talk. So, this is Do Kwon. He was asked a question about why it was backed with Bitcoin, the Luna Guard Foundation.
Did he gain a couple pounds? He looking a little heavier.
Well, he had to eat what they were going to confiscate. All right, let's play it.
Centralized money for all of crypto.
But I'm curious where that kind of plan came from and what made you want to introduce that at that time.
So we started to do that with Bitcoin because we believe that it's the most resilient, the least biased digital currency on the planet. If we were optimizing for like economic stability, we probably would have built up a reserve in stablecoins, other stablecoins. I think on some other level, I believe too strongly in Bitcoin. I honestly didn't think it would fall this much. And I know that, from time to time in its history, Bitcoin has gone down 80% every now and then. But
Hold on. So he goes, I didn't think it would fall down this much. But historically, Bitcoin has fell by 80%. So,
You know what that is, though? That's because he's probably never experienced one of those prior 80% corrections or bear markets. So you can see it on a chart all day, but it doesn't mean the same when you experience it.
Or your exposure
You know what I
wasn't
But
at
like-
a high enough limit.
Okay,
You could have bought some and lost, say, $2,000 or $3,000 or 0.5% of your portfolio.
dude, I'm just saying, you're going to launch a stable coin? Do your research. Like, I don't
Yeah.
care if you didn't feel the pain of 80%. Like, that. and
First
he
of all,
even
I don't
said
know
it.
how do you launch a stable coin against something that's unstable?
Thank you. That's what I'm saying, man. And
That's
it's like,
why I stayed away
That makes
from
too
it.
much sense, man. That makes
Like,
too much
is
It makes
sense.
too much sense, huh?
is he dumb? Like, I don't think he's dumb.
I
I don't think he's
don't
dumb.
either.
And there was videos of him, talking about it's beautiful to see something get to the top and then watch it die.
Now, here's the thing.
Or about
why did he choose Bitcoin? Because every time he bought Bitcoin, it was that whole, remember that wallet situation?
Yeah.
Oh, there's the Luna Foundation wallet. What happened every time they bought Bitcoin? First of all, the price rallied. And so not only are they scooping up Bitcoin, but they're increasing their portfolio substantially each and every buy because everyone's all like, yo, he's First of all, he was buying some straight off of, what was it, Binance, right?
Yeah.
Right off the order book. So he's basically pumping the price, removing the he was literally springboarding or pulling the spring on this on the Bitcoin. And
So he thought he could manipulate it all the way up.
That's what he was doing.
Continually.
And so for me, I don't think he was, I think he was like, look how much I can move the price. And every time I buy it, it goes up. So it's a win-win for me. And I think that's what, because dude was cocky, man. And I think that's what, I think that ego plus that power trip he got from every time he bought, he saw the price shoot up. And then the confluence of
Michael Saylor by any chance?
Hey, man.
Oh, what are you trying to say? Using the sailor's
Hey man, cocky. He was very cocky. He was very, smart guy. Like
what do you think about
was, but
what's your take on Michael Saylor? I know you've talked about him at length and multiple times on your show.
I think on the first time I came on your show, I talked about he was going to get his nuts clipped, and
so
crypto dominance.
He's just like, I don't care what the price is. I mean, which is fine, but that's what you own money, right? And so you have money. Yeah, you're taking other people's investment. You're taking the treasury of a company that is publicly traded. Yeah. And you're taking all of their money and saying, like, I don't care if you guys hate me for the next 3 years. This is a long-term thing. Like, it's just, I feel like it's not the best strategy for the platform that he had.
And that's exactly what my point was. If he was out here as a spokesperson with his own portfolio saying all these crazy things, cool. I mean, I think Bitcoin is going to.
That's what Max Kaiser does. Yeah.
Long term. Yeah. But when you involve the treasury of a publicly traded company, you have a board that you have to report to. As a CEO or managing director, I've been in that position. You have to. Wow. Is that gin in that gin?
My glass hit the friggin' mic here.
You have to report. You have a fiduciary responsibility to your investors and your board. So you report to your board. I knew that he was going to be in trouble with that.
Well, he is the board now, right?
So aggressive. No,
he is the board.
Bumped.
He stepped down. He stepped down.
But he's still a board. He's the board of directors.
Step down. Yeah. They say step down, but that's not what happened.
You think he got forced? Or do you think that was voluntary? Because there's two narratives.
Voted.
So one,
it was what?
Voted.
It was voted.
The board voted. Yeah, the board voted for him.
They say.
100%
do you think?
positive.
Okay, so then what's your vibe? Do you think MicroStrategy will get away from that Bitcoin till I die?
No pun intended.
Yeah.
I think they're going to pivot away from Michael's strategy.
They're going to go from MicroStrategy to other macro strategies.
Right.
They do have a macro strategy company. There's MicroStrategy and MicroStrategy. So,
I didn't know that.
We talked about one overly inflated ego, which was Do Kwon. Let's talk about another one. U.S. trustee motions for examiner to probe Celsius's, quote, significant transparency issues. The U.S. trustee that is handling the bankruptcy proceedings has called for an independent examiner to be brought in to untangle the embattled network's financial affairs. They have asked for an examiner to look into allegations of, quote, incompetence or gross mismanagement. This is a quote. The debtors, as in Celsius, have not provided adequate information regarding their liquidity position, their business model, the flow of traditional cash funds, and the value of their crypto assets. We know when they said it's a $1 billion hole, it turns out to be a $2.5 or $2.6 billion hole. Who did their community more wrong? Was it Mashinsky and Celsius, or was it Do Kwon and Terra Luna?
Wow, that's a good question. I don't know how to answer that one. Honestly.
I think
if I had to pick, I would go ahead and say I would have to say Do Kwon, because the impact from a ecosystem, from a industry perspective, was Do Kwon's was huge. He kicked off the whole thing.
Yeah.
Celsius fell because of Do Kwon. So yeah, or one big reason, 3AC, and then
I still think that at its core, Do Kwon and the Luna idea was not to go where it went. And I think they were trying to build something. I think they got greedy. I think everything was pointing to failure points. They ignored it with ignorance. But I don't think I don't think that was in their roadmap. Hey, we're going to grow this thing and then we're going to just burn it down. I'm
100% with you. No,
and so for that reason, I have to go Celsius, because even though the warning signs were there for Luna, even though they decided to ignore them, I think there was just fraud up and down when it comes to Celsius. And it was misleading.
Yeah. Really?
I mean, you literally had Mashinsky like literally going on
a
camera
day before saying your withdrawals are fine.
Yeah, saying we're better than the banks, and like just knowing that.
I hear you.
Knowing on the back end that you got people in your ear like, yo, we're about to shut this thing down in about 2 days. And he's like, okay, cool. Let me see how much more money I can squeeze out.
Yeah.
And so I think.
But Do Kwon did the same thing. There were reports of Do Kwon funneling money through shell companies.
Yeah.
But I think he was just
the infamous board meeting where they sold before everyone else knew. So the same thing happened there.
They're just both pieces of they're both pieces of crap. I thought it was an interesting, like,
you know what it is. Mashinsky's he was nicer. He's more polite.
Yeah, Mashinsky. Mashinsky is one of those sheep wolf in sheep's clothing.
He looked
kind
like
of guys.
the nice butcher. He's all nice. He's all he's at the butcher shop. You're like, this guy's so great.
Did you guys?
He has all this meats and packed up.
Did you hear about Mashinsky? Report just came out because of course the bankruptcy trial and everything is happening, so more things are being uncovered. Mashinsky in January of this year took over the assets of the company and started trading them himself.
Yeah,
you guys hear about that?
Really? Yeah.
No, I didn't hear about it. No.
So he took it, and
so
then
he pulled someone else did that.
He tried to time the market, lost a bunch of tokens, did it again, did it again. Yeah.
Okay, so you're saying that's worse than that's not worse than Do Kwon? I mean, that's just like the icing on the cake for me, man.
No, I hear you. I guess I got to agree with you guys on that.
I just think that the
impact though.
I think Luna's just more ignorant. I think everything was pointing there. They were just ignorant, and they're just like they're trying to live like kings.
And they were crapping on people along the way that were trying to say, "Hey guys, pay attention to this. We think there could be an issue." It's like, "Oh, you're stupid. You're dumb." Calling people the R word on Twitter. And this is why it's so important to the R. Yeah, we ain't trying to get canceled.
The mental, leave it there.
Oh, that's a new cancel word as well.
Yeah, you can't be throwing that
cancel word, man. We always tread on the side of caution. So,
that list is growing, man.
That list is growing. It sounds like 1984, baby.
Yeah, man.
We're gonna have
by the way, what pronouns?
5 words we can use.
What pronouns do you prefer, CryptoBlood? We'll put that under your title as well.
Dude, that list is growing too. Every time I check, there's another letter on that alphabet.
Oh my god.
Hey man, I don't know. I don't got much to say about that. But all right. So so we have play to earn, play to listen, walk to earn, run to earn. Okay, what if I told you poop to earn? What would be your first?
Is this an article?
Hold on,
I saw it on Twitter.
CryptoBlood, poop to earn. What's the first thing that comes to your mind?
Poop a lot.
Man,
did you see this one?
I did, and hey, great utility. You can't get, can't say there's no utility in that one.
Maximize the output, right?
Yeah.
So here's the article. Yeah. It's titled Shitcoins. South Korean toilet turns poop into crypto. So now you can here it is. This looks absolutely disgusting. But obviously this is not in your house or anything. When it gets flushed, it gets diverted into this poop tank. So here's how it works. It's called a BV toilet. It uses a vacuum function to spirit away the poop into an underground tank, skipping the use of water. So you're saving water. Hear me out. You're saving water. If a person poops around 500 grams daily, then the result is 50 liters of methane gas, which generates 1/2 of a kilowatt of power. This will power a car for less than 1 mile. Okay, for
our producer is dying.
0.7.
Right now.
Hold on. The gentleman's name is Professor Cho.
This is good shit.
This is literally. Professor Cho has developed a crypto called Ggool. Ggool or Google.
What?
Google, yeah,
Ggool.
Ggool. That's the name of the crypto. It translates to honey. It is to entice people to poop, where it will be put to good use. Every person who donates a poop in the special throne earns 10 Google tokens. Also, the Google can be used to buy stuff, and students at universities are already turning their poop into coffee, noodles, books.
Noodles.
Are you?
It's like
Rocco is literally dying.
How about you go buy some corn, and then it'll rebate you and airdrop you some
I don't
corn.
know about
on the
you
back
guys,
end.
but I have a pretty strong digestive system. Man, I could be earning like 30 of these Googles a day, man. That's a lot of coffee. I drink a lot of coffee.
I'm just curious, like,
do too.
every appliance in your house will break. Who's going to come out and service this thing? That's what I want to know.
What do you mean?
Because a
It's,
standard plumber ain't going to be able to.
Roto-Rooter, what was it?
Roto-Rooter has gone on the blockchain. Hey, we said Google a lot. We got a lot of people in
You're
here.
gonna have like a step-in app where you can buy your own thing, and
Yeah,
know,
you could
more
sell your
you
poop as NFTs.
Yeah, more you poop, you're gonna have the runner, the walker,
the runner, the walker, this guy.
The feds are
Okay,
gonna come in on this one, man.
in all seriousness, I know there's a little
No, this is
tchotchke
great, actually. I think
dealing
this is
with
pretty
poop. That's
good-
what I'm
good
saying.
idea.
Like, if you
Honestly.
look at the grand scheme of things, right? Something people do every day, it goes to waste anyways. It burns methane. If you can just take that methane and, I mean, I know it sounds ridiculous.
Terrible idea.
Terrible idea, Rob.
Yeah.
Terrible idea.
Robin's just a hater, bro.
Like, go if
Why?
if you're into methane capture, there's plenty of that in agriculture.
There's that in everything.
And
Why
you know
not
what I
take
mean? Like,
that
I
methane
feel
and
like
convert
it'd
it?
be more efficient. I'm just thinking from a business perspective. If I'm trying to capture methane to mine Bitcoin with it. There's a definitely, definitely a lot better. You know, actually, last week we had a. Last week we had a segment where we were discussing a cow. How did we get into that? Anyways, we were talking about putting ASICs on the back of a cow.
Oh, because they burn methane.
Yeah,
Or they
and,
produce methane.
and eventually you're gonna see like this hybrid cow walking around with ASICs on
Like
the
a
backside.
backpack.
Well, listen, we got what, like 7.5 billion people? Every
Yeah.
one of them have the shit. So
That's
this
what
is
that's what I'm
actually-
saying,
I
bro.
think we can
That's what
produce a lot of methane and
You
capture
know-
it.
I will say
Thank
one
you.
thing. I was surprised. I was actually on the Michael Saylor interview. So, the most populous mammal on this planet is actually humans. More than any other mammal. Like any
Combined?
Yeah, just there's more. If you were to say what's the most mammals on this planet, it's humans.
It's
Well, duh.
humans? Oh,
Yeah,
interesting.
more
I
than
didn't know
cows,
that.
more
I
than
didn't know
like
that.
wolves, dogs, cats, freaking mice, everything. There's
Mice are not mammals.
I didn't know that.
They're rodents.
they're mammals. They got if you produce milk,
What
mammal.
about? This reminds me of the cockroach milk story. All right, and then kind of the last thing I want to talk about, CB, is okay. First of all, are you bullish on Flow blockchain?
I hate flow.
You hate Flow. Okay. All right. Well,
Yeah.
you'll love this article then. Are you bullish on NFL?
Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, of course.
I'm assuming you're a Lions fan, unfortunately, right?
Hell no.
My
I'll
dude.
assume that.
Oh well, you live in Detroit. I figured hometown team. Anyway, who's your team?
No, I'm rational in my thinking.
Tell
I
me
don't
you're
have
not a
an
Raiders
NFL
fan.
thing, man. I don't really watch NFL like that. I mean, I watch it during the playoffs or whatever, but yeah, I'm not big into sports anymore, honestly.
But you
Ever
can
since I
agree,
took that orange pill, bro, it's been crypto.
Bitcoin longing and watching liquidations is my sport. So, but you agree that the NFL has massive sway in at least in the U.S. markets, yes,
Mhm.
and in spending, right? The amount of money people spend just to go to a freaking Super Bowl game, just beats like, I mean, viewership for the Super Bowl is literally a third of the country watches. So it's a giant platform, and Patrick Mahomes, which is a lot of people say is the face of the NFL outside of maybe Tom Brady.
Yeah.
But, you know, he's getting old. He becomes the face of Dapper Labs, a new NFT platform. And if you're not familiar, Dapper Labs is also part of Flow Blockchain. He signed a deal making him the face of a new NFL video highlight NFT platform. I guess since, you know, my question to you was going to be, is Flow going to, you know, run away with this NFT like esports, sports in general, just like as an NFT platform, are they going to run away with this thing? I mean, they're landing deals with the NFL.
Dapper Labs king right now.
You got to remember, Flo did a deal with the NBA as well. So yeah, they've been knocking them down. I don't know how. I mean, it's centralized. You can pause shit. You can reverse transactions. It's just not. It's not a good look for an NFT to be on that type of blockchain.
Isn't that what the institutions want? Is some kind of controllability?
Yes.
You know?
Yes. Any corporate entity is going to want something where it's mutable, not immutable. So. But hey, that doesn't make it right. That doesn't make it a good blockchain. It really is not a blockchain to me.
Yeah. No, I think it's. I'm
hella bullish. I'm super bullish.
I think it could be a pivot. I agree that right now for institutions, sport franchises, leagues, whatever it is, these bigger companies are going to dip their toes into the market via something that is a little bit more peace of mind, controllable. And then later on, perhaps when the industry really evolves, things have been tested and broken and repaired, and somebody comes out on top, and it is more decentralized and the market demands it. And the users are like, I'm going to use your platform because it's true to blockchain and it's true to decentralization.
Here's the issue. Here's the issue with civilization. You look at history. It never goes from centralized to decentralized. You have to start out decentralized as much as possible and try to maintain and keep that narrative and that structure.
Why would you give the power up, right?
You never do. It's never going to happen. Never going to happen. That's my
and that's what scares me, And I think, I do think we need a little bit of regulation in the space. But once they take some power away,
right?
Once they take power away, they're not going to give that back. They're just going to keep reaching
the
and
market
reaching.
Demands it. In the same way that people are getting away from the fiat currency now that the option's there, and now that the market is getting there, and once there's enough liquidity and there's enough availability, there's enough access to crypto, and everyone has a smartphone, and the regulators has removed the roadblocks if that ever happens. I think that with the free market, obviously you can look at the pros and cons on one side or the other. You just keep burning people over and over again. You keep screwing people over, and you keep devaluing money and savings accounts and whatever the governments do. You're gonna lean that direction eventually, and so that for that reason, I think that the same thing will happen in the private industry when it comes to partnerships and corporations, or at least I would hope so. And unfortunately, is probably more realistic to fall in line with what CryptoBlood is saying, that hey, it's probably going to stay that way because that's how it starts. It's what corporations are going to run, and they're going to, dress it up in a way that it looks decentralized, and then it's not.
All right, CB, I want to talk to you about one more article before we let you go. Some Ripple news. If you're an XRP fan, Ripple. I meant for the viewers. But now we know you're not a fan. I was not a fan, but dude, that was good. So pull up my laptop, Rocco. So Ripple partners with Travelex to launch enterprise crypto payment service in Brazil. We've been hearing a lot about Brazil. They're the largest economy in South America. I believe they're top 10 in the world.
Yeah, number 8, I think.
Number 7 or 8, yeah. Central Bank of Brazil their approval makes this the first time a Latin American bank has utilized ODL, which is Ripple's on-demand liquidity, and Travelex is a Forex company. Travelex will firstly enable these cross-border payments between Brazil and Mexico, with plans to open up more payment channels in the region with more use cases suited to enterprise needs.
Here's my quick, before you propose a question. My quick takeaways. I side with you on this Ripple thing. I don't think it's. I think there's projects that are more all-encompassing that provide payment rails and transfer of goods in the form of fiat, tokenized, or in a blockchain asset. It's already here. The technology is already here, and they're more diverse and smart contracts. Anyways, my thing is that XRP, you can't deny this lawsuit. So for me, I'm not bullish on this blockchain as far as it being the dominant chain of financial infrastructure that everyone
Hold on,
claims.
man. You literally
No, but this is where I'm getting it. This is where I'm getting it. I don't think it's going to be the new financial revolution. Everyone's going to be using XRP. You know, all the banks are going to be transferring. I don't agree to that.
No.
I don't sign up for that.
Nope.
But
Not gonna happen.
on a, I guess, medium term, is probably one of the biggest upside investments, because if they settle, if they win the court case, which it seems to be leaning in that direction, off of sheer liquidity alone, for the exchanges having, you know, to relist and having to scoop up and put on the euphoria for them winning the case and them being back on the market, all of the narratives that pile on behind it. I mean, you could easily see a 5-10x on that project. And
Agreed.
And so for that, I'm excited about the token. I'm excited about the XRP token.
So here, let me just dissect this whole situation about Ripple and why I think this is the biggest fraud ever.
Okay.
Because I see what type of game they're playing here. So this headline here is talking about Ripple making a partnership with TravelX, right? Nowhere. See, this is what they do. The token XRP is not going to be used. This is a Ripple and TravelX partnership, just like MoneyGram and Ripple, just like all these other partnerships they've had and acquired different companies under Ripple. The company Inc. has nothing to do with XRP, the token. Listen, you won't be able to use the token for anything. There's not going to be a much demand for the XRP token. That's why they're in trial right now, is over the token. So I think ultimately, you know, Ripple, the company, will probably be successful and continue to make acquisitions, make different business deals. But the XRP token is not going to be needed.
They have over and over said that, and you know, it's been one of the bases for their defense is that hey, you don't need the XRP token to, you know, basically the banks don't need to buy and hold it to use it, and that's something that's been echoed. But now I
think they will be using the XRP
now
token.
with this,
I could be wrong.
With this article, supposedly is to facilitate the movement of XRP as well, but it kind of contradicts their own logic that I've heard over and over again, that
they're not going to use it, guys. I'm telling you, it's this old bait and switch, man. I'm telling you, banana in the tailpipe.
Banana in the tailpipe.
You ever put a banana in a tailpipe? Does that even work? Or
why would you put a banana in a tailpipe?
It's like a sabotage thing.
Oh no, but I put sugar in a gas tank.
There you go,
my dude. Don't mess with me, bro. Well, man, when I was in high school,
trying to make sweet tea. What the hell y'all putting sugar in a gas tank?
Oh man,
sweet tea.
That's funny.
It does look kind of like.
Just don't drink it. You'll feel really sick. Apparently. You know, CryptoBlood, before we let you go, and we've kind of gone over our 30-minute slot, which thank you, by the way, so much for coming on our show. What's new in the land of CryptoBlood? You got anything exciting coming out?
Yeah, I see these little graphics you got there.
Baby. Bloodanalytics.com.
Tell us about that.
Sell me on it.
I'm putting you, Dave, and Rob. I'm joining you guys in there for free, but I do want to tell everybody about Bloodanalytics. So Bloodanalytics, bro, is... So I've been trading for 15 years, right? In Forex, crypto, and I have programming, skill sets as well. So about 5-7 years ago, I started building algorithms in the FX market, and then I started moving them over to crypto. So the Bloodanalytics trend alert system is my latest one that I'm bringing to the public. Go check it out. It is on point, ladies and gentlemen. We went live this Monday, and we are up big time already. Nice. So you guys definitely, I'm going to have you guys jump in and witness it for yourselves.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I want to play around.
I won't have to pitch it. I won't have to pitch it. So you guys will be able to see. So yeah, Bloodanalytics is a trend alert system. I'm doing it right now for Bitcoin versus USDT and Ethereum versus USDT. We went long. Let me see if I can bring this up really quickly, because
where do our viewers, how do our viewers find it? Is it bloodanalytics.com?
Bloodalytics.com, baby.
Oh,
Check
all right,
it out.
we'll add that in
I'm
there.
gonna
we're
bring this
adding
up
that to our
here.
description in the video, guys. It'll be
Yeah.
up in like 2 seconds. So if you guys want to check it out, or at least just go poke around in there, see if it's something
just,
you like. So.
Check it out. Check it out. Absolutely. Check it out. But yeah, we went short on Bitcoin and Ethereum 2 days ago. So we're deep in the money on this. About a day and a half ago. Yeah. So
You know, and if you're not
I'll be
familiar with,
covering it today.
if you guys aren't, and I'm speaking to the community, if you guys are not familiar with CryptoBlood, he is like, when people say they're OGs, they're saying, but how long you been? 4 years, 2016. This dude literally has been around since the early 2010s. So he's seen pretty much every single market. Yeah. And I know before then you were a trader, extremely smart guy. And I'm pumped, bro. Like, I want to check this out.
Yeah, I'm gonna add you guys in after the show.
You never call me smart.
Well, I'd be lying, and I'm not a liar. But we will be adding that link. Go check it out. See for yourself. I haven't used it yet.
And I have a promo code. I'll have a promo code.
Okay, all right. So we'll wait for the promo code.
We'll add that to the description as well.
Sin, I already got it ready, baby.
Okay,
You know,
all right.
I'm prepared.
My
Sin
man.
City 15. Sin City 15. You guys get 15% off.
Sin City, any spaces in there?
My dude.
No.
So Sin City 15.
Sin City 15. All right.
When you coming out of Vegas? When you gonna come hang out with us?
Trying to get down there for this conference. When is it? Next weekend?
Yeah. You know what?
Oh, the NFT.
We may.
Don't
wanna spoil it.
Don't. Just don't. It's not.
We
It's
may
not
have-
even a 50% thing.
We may have some big news from that.
Yeah.
I'll leave it at that.
Just yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, we have we have a spot for you. You know what? We have a setup here. Show them. Can you pull up Studio Cam? When you come here, we got to look at that seat next to David. David, that
Right here,
seat
bro.
right there. We got mic.
This is for you,
We got a
CryptoBlood.
microphone. We got.
I'm looking at the one over to the right and on the left of Rob. I'm like,
Yeah. Well, that's my. I got one of those electric desks or those moving ones. So I moved this down. This is my
gotcha.
chair here. But you want to, man? I'll pull up a microphone right here.
This dude is like a kid in a candy store with a stupid it goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down.
You just mad your desk stationary, bro.
A little bit, maybe.
But yeah, come on. Hopefully you come out here for that NFT. If you do, please stop by. Just at least say hello. You don't even have to be on camera. But if you're here during the if you're here, you got enough time to film something. You know, we'll always do that.
You said
For
Sin
sure.
City 15, right?
Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
Dope.
That's
Cool.
right.
All right. So we got your link on there, website. We got our promo code. Guys, at least just we're not saying go sign up. You know, people got their own budgets
No.
or whatever. But
No.
at least go take a peek at it. Go check out. See what it looks
I'm
like.
gonna do a review on it.
Oh,
Yeah, do a
Well, not
review.
a-
So
yeah.
so I'm gonna add you guys to it, and then you guys can do a review, and that'll be the best organic way. And I'm not, I'm not
Absolutely.
paying these guys. So, I want,
And that's
people
what I
to
like,
actually-
man, is that just tells me your product is good. If you come out here and you're just like, no, it's great, and like, I will not endorse anything. I don't care if it's Michael Saylor. If I don't use it myself, I don't feel comfortable
Well,
endorsing it.
see, that's why we're like, yo, go check it out. You know what I mean? Go check it
we're
out.
gonna check it out. You guys check it out, and then we'll reconvene here on Monday. We'll talk about it. So, CryptoBlood, we love you, man. We love your content. We love your personality. Thank you so much for joining us and sharing.
Yeah, I gotta head over there to your show. I know you had David on there last time, so
Yeah.
let me know. Let me know.
I know the
You
last
guys are
couple
free this
times
weekend.
timing's been kind of bad, but moving forward, we shouldn't have any issues on the days you stream. So,
Cool. Sounds
Awesome,
good.
man.
Thanks, guys.
my
Appreciate it.
pleasure. Thank you again, brother. We look
Thanks
forward
for
to visiting
visiting
on.
us,
We'll
man.
see you when you come in Vegas. Let us know.
Holla.
All right.
Later. Go to Hell's Kitchen, man. Sweet.
Sweet. Man, CryptoBlood, cool dude.
Yeah.
I was surprised, meeting a lot of like crypto YouTubers. There's some ones, but there's a lot of good ones.
I'm
man.
surprised, dude. Pescatarian. Hey, I'm just saying, man.
He looks like a dude that works out, looks strong. You know what though, man? It's probably healthier anyways.
It is. My sister's a pescatarian,
You said
man.
vegan.
It changed their life, man. I'll be honest with you. My sister went
Yeah.
pescatarian. She was she's always battled couple pounds or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And she righted the ship. She, stood behind the pescatarian diet. And I worked for her. Hey, it's funny with diets, being
Rocco's on a Frappuccino diet.
Yes. You know, yeah, there is no way to order something straight at Starbucks at the airport.
Dude,
You know,
this
they
dude.
order at he ordered a 20 double macchiato. And for some reason, they gave me a triple vanilla.
What is a triple vanilla, anyways?
I have no idea. He
I don't
drank it. I don't know.
What does venti mean in Italian?
20.
20 ounces.
20 ounces.
Yeah, that's where it's
Yeah,
from.
but the other thing is why you call it tall, which is English, and then you go to grande, which is big, and then you go to 20, which is 20.
Right.
Why
Is the
you-
grande Spanish grande or is it a Italian grande?
Well, Italian and
I don't
Spanish
know
are
what you use the 20 grande for. I have no idea. But why tall, the first word, it should be piccolo pequeño.
Piccolo.
Or pequeño, and then grande
Pickle?
20.
Oh
don't
man,
know.
we
I
had
don't know.
we had so much fun on this trip. There was so much insight and just like unplugging from research, video editing, and just like kind of expanding your peripherals and seeing. Because love him or hate him, and I know Ben gets a lot of hate, and I know from a personal standpoint, there's some things Ben has come out and said, I wish I would have done it different. I don't know what else the guy can do. We all make mistakes. Everyone's make mistakes. And the mistakes he feels he made, he's owned up to them. So all the hate he gets, I think that should be past him. And when you look at the amount of people that operation employs and gives opportunities to, I mean, look at someone like DZ. Look at J Chains and the people he's got on there that have their own shows that are going to flourish. None of that would be possible without Ben and the team and what he's done. So again, huge shout out to Ben. But just watching that operation and like, damn, this is. I mean, they literally have 15 different areas set up where they can go film, and he still wants more. And to me, that was very eye opening in the sense that, damn, you got this. And you're still striving for more. It's very humbling in a sense that when you think you've done good, there's always more to do. And so that's kind of what I took away from it. And his whole thing, you know, we went to breakfast with him. He goes, I'm in a spot now where I want to pay it forward. I want to expand not just my channel, but the entire crypto space. And that just comes down to
I'm in a big
to
thing
humility.
that no matter what you're doing in your own personal life, whatever your own personal goals are, you know, achievements as far as monetary or money and materialistic things are things to work for. But just remember that materialistic things don't truly bring you happiness. As people, family, and relationships.
Yeah.
You know, I also came to learn before I came to do this YouTube is that it's not in your best interest to just work to death. You know, if you need to put in extra hours, work a second job to get by, cool, do it. You know, you got to survive. I'm not saying that, but you know, you should start thinking of a different strategy, because if your strategy is to work 14 hours a day, doing 2 jobs, you know, whatever it is, no days off, and your strategy is to do that until you're 80, it's not ideal. And so one thing I've learned is that
What about
do
you,
something
Rocco?
you're passionate about, and don't waste away, you know, every minute of your life working for somebody else at some crazy amount of hours. So
Well, what's the biggest takeaway you got from the trip? How to gas it when you're in reverse on a hill?
No, there was not. Well, I did have some beautiful. I have a nice video that you guys. I'm gonna share maybe later on for the members. No, these guys. That was fun. I don't want to spoil.
Are you talking
it, guys.
about the argument?
Which one?
there's a
was
lot of
like
arguments.
3
Okay,
days.
if you guys listen, I hope you guys don't think that when we argue and like that, it's just all for show. Literally, we had an argument over. I'll let Rocco.
over anything.
Yeah.
You know, why is so green in Atlanta? Why why is rainy? Why map guess is faster than the Apple? I don't know. Apple Map. I don't know. That you name it, they talking about
Yeah.
it.
yeah,
And I get the camera around.
Yeah, Rocco's got all the footage. He's going to share that with our members.
yeah. Stay tuned for that. We got
By the
some
way,
cool videos.
if you're not a member and you want to support this channel, the link is in the description. We have 3 different levels for you to support. And a big shout out to our 2 whale members, Marky Mark and was it Brokyoshi?
think so.
Marky Mark and Brokioshi, for being a well member. Honestly, right now, like, and Robin said this before, there's really no reason to pay $25 a month. I mean, you're not really getting value outside of the point if you just want to support us, and we truly appreciate
Help
that.
us pay our lease here. Also, Robert Salazar says he does work 14 hours a day, man. You know, hats off to you. I am not throwing any shade on people working hard. I'm just saying, spend some time with the fam and friends, and it's hard to do so if you're working all the time. But a lot of people's family and friends is at work. And so, you know, like if you know, I grew up in the restaurant industry, and a lot of people that grew up in the restaurant industry, you know, your family and friends are in the restaurant. So, you know, you get enjoyment. So it's not, I'm looking at for people that are working at a job they don't like, and they're putting in a ton of hours, and they're not really planning an exit strategy. So it's not about the hours of the day. It's just about freeing up your time to spend time with the ones that you love. And if you're basically 100% in on work that you don't like, it's hard to do that. So just keep that in mind. Also, here a little notification will be on Around the Blockchain here in 1 hour and 38 minutes. So come check us out. One in the chat when your boy's on.
Also, just to kind of finish off the show, we are constantly looking at our product, at ourselves, at what our community wants, and we are constantly looking to improve. This live show in about a few weeks is going to look completely different visually. I mean, no one else is doing this in our space, not even the biggest channel in all of crypto YouTube. We're also introducing 2 brand new segments. It's going to be every week. You're going to get, should we say what it is, the first one?
No, we got a lot of content coming. Still,
the first one, the Saturday one.
Check it out.
What are we doing Saturday, Rocco?
And Saturday, and we're gonna have some crypto thing going on.
There you go. Crypto things going on.
So outside of our lives, we're going to be doing more videos per week, brand new, fresh content. We will be doing more members videos, and we're just going to pump this thing up another 100%, and we're going full steam ahead. And if you're with us, we appreciate you. If you're not with us, you can't get with us. If you don't want to get with us, I don't know what to say. So with that being said, Rocco, roll the outro music.
Let's go.
We know you missed us this week, guys. We miss you guys also. We were dying to get back in the studio. This is your first time here today checking us out. Welcome. Please drop a hello. We'd love to personally welcome you. Come back today, 2 p.m. Pacific. Support Robin on Around the Blockchain. If not, we'll see you guys Monday, 10:30 a.m. Vegas time. Let's go, baby. We'll see you. Peace.